This is the fictional Mindbender. Trinity of the Matrix was at one point considered one of the legendary characters of femininity and feminism, but lately seems to have been relegated to a heroine needing saving from herself because of her relationship with Neo in the franchise. This change of perception inspired me to look at the character's outlook to see if this generational criticism apparently is well deserved. Trinity is introduced in the Matrix as this mysterious force of kung fu nature. Her pale, stoic nature and features hiding a fierce warrior that is devoted to the cause of the war against the machines, to her captain, Morpheus, and her crew of the Nebuchadnezzar. When Neo is discovered in the first movie, she is still cool and very reserved, keeping her thoughts and feelings close to her chest from everyone except Cypher, who is able to interpret accurately what's going on in her mind, and also based off of her body language. Even after Neo becomes the One and they become lovers, Trinity still maintains a stoic, fierce veneer to everyone outside of her lover and her crew. She doesn't tolerate anyone intruding on her space when not invited, and has no issues taking the initiative when shit goes sideways. And is so fiercely devoted that she seems always on the brink of choosing violence immediately if her chosen family is threatened or Neo is hit on by another woman, something that Persephone, the Merovingian's wife, immediately picks up on and kind of muses about openly. I remember Trinity being the face of empowered women when the movies came out, part of the new face of this current wave of feminism. She was no damsel in distress and so on, but will pretty quickly kick your ass. In the last decade though, while still respected by many as a cultural icon, Trinity is now also criticized by many as being just another simp for a man, or at least borderline, with her kicking ass seemingly saving her from a full demotion from being a feminist icon. This new perspective largely stems from research that most depictions of two women on screen can't go a whole scene without one of them bringing up a man that they like or have issues with. Essentially, that their whole existence revolves around that person, and that the women themselves therefore have no agency, no personal aspirations or sense of individualism, as it were. Trinity isn't the only character scrutinized under this feminist microscope, though. It extends to all powerful women who don't seem to talk about anyone else but another guy. Another example, you could say, would be Attack on Titan's Mikasa Ackerman. I can see this perspective in Trinity's story. Deeper nuances don't really appear unless Neo is somehow involved. And because Neo is the Messiah and she is the lover of said Messiah, it's easy to see how she could disappear under his shadow, as it were. However, ultimately I have to disagree with this sense of judgment, basically. Trinity was never a simp before Neo became the One, and she wasn't a simp after he became the One. There are many displays where Trinity still demonstrates her own agency, even against Neo and Morpheus' wishes. In the first movie, for example, when Morpheus is captured and Neo proposes going back into the Matrix to rescue him, his original plan was to do it himself, to do it alone and not risk anyone else. However, Trinity literally barges in on the plan, not asking permission or approval, and quite literally telling Neo to go to hell if he has a problem with that. And ultimately is the one who ends up saving his life, ironically. Not very simp-like if you ask me. Also, Morpheus' body language around her says volumes about the confidence that he has in Trinity. She is his right-hand man, and his first officer for a reason. In The Matrix Reloaded, Trinity takes on separate missions apart from Neo when going after the Keymaker. And in Resurrections, she's ready to shoot up an entire club just to get answers she wants from the Merovingian, who initially doubts her resolve. Beyond these examples, there are deeper implications, though, that communicate Trinity's importance to the story of The Matrix. When talking with the construct that is the architect, whom I refer to as Colonel Sanders because, look at the guy, he flat out tells the One that the only reason he's going off script from his predecessors is because of Trinity. That Trinity is much more than just Neo's girlfriend or someone who's there for the protagonist's development. That the war with the machines would effectively continue its eternal loop of deception and endless death and rebirth if not for Trinity's intervention and relationship with Neo. No Trinity, but there's a Neo, but he's doomed to the same fate as those who came before him, along with the rest of humanity. Trinity is all in or all out. She is cautious but doesn't do halfway when she commits to something or someone, and once that's done, there is nothing stopping her. Moreover, from Trinity's perspective, she is showing agency. She's not settling for stalkers like Cypher or second-rate lovers until she meets the one, no pun intended. She's been told that she'll fall in love with a dead man, but doesn't appear to really believe it until she meets Neo. And even then, it's not like she immediately spreads her legs for him either. You can almost get kind of a passive sense of probing from her, as if she's feeling for herself if this is actually true or not. But as Neo continues to establish more that he is the one, usually inadvertently, she seems to more and more fall in love with him, and I think that scares her a bit. Trinity's agency is in choosing whom and when she wants to show any vulnerability to. That she spends so much time around Neo after their relationship begins is only typical of a new relationship. Intense, passionate. There's nothing submissive or simpish about it. And I don't think she gives a fuck if others think otherwise or not. And it's that agency that saves humanity because, well, yes, it does inspire Neo. Trinity also establishes that she's done more than enough on her own and for herself to establish her own identity, and being with someone whom she loves is part of that identity. But if you happen to disagree with that or agree with that, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, this is the Fictional Mindbender, and you guys have a good day.